folks, how you doing? And welcome to my channel. So today I am going to do a reading looking at the energies in Mercury retrograde for December 2024. So Mercury goes retrograde on November the 26th. I've just got my journal here. November the 26th, and it goes direct on Sunday the 15th of December, which is also a full moon in Gemini. Okay. So it goes direct just before Christmas, which is that good? It means we can have a Christmas without a Mercury retrograde. But those of you that know about Mercury retrograde know that the energy can be just before and just after as well. So at the time of filming, the world is in a strange transitional phase. Lots of things feel all over the place. Lots of things feel, for some people, threatening. So throwing a Mercury retrograde into that mix, let me just sort myself out. Throwing a Mercury retrograde into that mix can seem overwhelming, but what I'm feeling with this one is, when you find out about Mercury retrograde, we can go really naive. I remember I did. Can't go on holiday, can't travel, can't do this, expect that. Oh my God, communication's going to break down. Oh my God, people are going to turn up late. I'm going to turn up late. And yes, a lot of those things can happen. But what those things are trying to teach us is to chill out, slow down, step back, and allow. And that's what I feel this Mercury retrograde is going to be really bringing to the table. That rather than going into it from a place of fear of, oh my God, what now? Is to go into it knowing that, seeing it for the alchemy that it really is, if that makes sense. Let's have a look. So I've got 4 decks in front of me. I never usually have 4 decks in front of me. So let's get to it. We just had a card that's flipped up. Let me see what's flipped up. Which card has flipped up? You see, yeah, look at that. That's my deck. You see that? Ace of Cups has flipped up. This is your moment. I'm going to start reading from this because I like that card as well. The 5, sorry. Yes. 8, God. 8 of God. See, that is an example of it. That is an example of it. Speech, seeing things wrong, reading things wrong, getting a document and not reading it correctly or thinking you've read it correctly. What does that number say? It's 5. No, it's an 8. No, it's 5. No, it's an 8. That's the energy of it. So for although at the time of filming, we're not retrograde yet, we're building there. 8 of Cups is about closure. It's about leaving something behind. It's about releasing something. It can sometimes, when you're in a one-to-one reading, be about somebody walking away from a relationship or a friendship. That's fine. It can be that as well. But it's a real leaving behind something or emotions that we don't need anymore. We don't need those emotions. We've made peace with those feelings. Okay. Also, as well, with Mercury retrograde, he's got his cloak on, the red cloak, the root chakra, not allowing. This is something here with childhood trauma. How are we processing childhood trauma? When we say childhood trauma, people assume that that's really big stuff. But actually, childhood trauma can also be little things, of which your little inner child, your little child version of you, it was a trauma. Like teenagers and children feel deeply, everything's so open and pure. Well, what we would have bashed off as an adult, it cements itself. Um, so, for example, say if you went to your mum and says, "Mummy, look at my picture," and she went, "Oh, just come bring it back later." That can actually really affect a child for the rest of its life. It's not abuse, it's not physical abuse, sexual abuse. It's just a busy mum that's not got time. But that child doesn't process it like that. And no, I'm not deflecting from the parent to the child, but sometimes things happen. Sometimes a mother hasn't got time because she's dealing with something. And we can take that into our lives as a childhood trauma. So I'll releasing these childhood traumas, if that makes sense. Finding the strength, rising. We've been doing a bit of work on this channel about shining bright and standing tall. And that energy is still around of shining bright and standing tall. finding our strength through it. Knowing that, making plan B. So if we have got big plans, it's December, people have a lot of plans. So if things get cancelled, if we fall ill with something, not allowing it to overwhelm us. And I think I have to remember that, and we all have to remember that, because Christmas and December always feels quite important, doesn't it? In some way, shape, or form. When you've got parties planned, or when you're traveling miles to meet someone that you've not seen for ages, or if you're catering for Christmas dinner and it's just you doing it. Um, Allowing space for things not working out as we thought, if that makes sense, but not fearing it. The Hermit. During this Mercury retrograde season, interesting, it feels as though there's going to be a lot of deep thinking. That's interesting. It reminds me of the Star of Bethlehem and the Wise Men energy. Oh, I wonder if Jesus was born during Mercury retrograde. Let me know, astrologers, in the comments. Um, the Tower. I'm going to come back to that. The Ace of Wands. The Breakthrough. Four of Wands, which is the celebration. I'm really tuning into an energy. And I have done this past week of, no matter what I'm seeing out in the global news, the global world stage, is I'm seeing something very different. I know many of you are as well. There is this absolute joyful energy coming in. Many people are embracing it. Many people are breaking away from the old. Many people are breaking away from the old mindsets. Many people are breaking away from things that make them unhappy. Many people are turning back to community. Many people are being kind and compassionate to themselves and realizing they've been too hard on themselves and too abusive of themselves. Many people are rising, the high priest, the high priestess, stepping into their power. Ten of Swords, which can be bad. I'm going to do some clarifiers here, and I'll tell you why. Because I've got my Tower card. Beneath it is the Ten of Swords, and to the side is the Emperor. There's something, and at the time of filming, the thing with Russia is very on a balance, if that makes not, but it's not. Is it balanced? Let's have a look. It's on a knife edge. The Chariot going forward with something. Can I just have a clarifier for the Tower card? Yeah, I'm just getting do not fear. Do not fear it. Whether you're fearing Russia or you're fearing something else, something personal to you, we have to step out of fear. We have to step into something else. And maybe those are the emotions that we're having to leave behind and step into this. This is like a new earth kind of energy. The Ten of Cups, they've worked through all of their cups, their emotions. They've processed them. They've made sense. And by doing that, they've been able to build something better. So it feels as though Mercury retrograde is a real, if you can tune into this energy, it's a real opportunity for soul growth and body growth and well-being growth and maturity, spiritual maturity, life maturity. What's that called? Oh, I'll take from the bottom of the deck. Oh. Yeah. And Two of Wands. We had Two of Wands in the last read I've just done, where it's the world is in my hands. What am I going to create? What am I going to manifest? There's a real energy here of, when you've got a pain in your arm and you're thinking about it, it gets worse and worse and worse. Have you ever realized that when you get distracted, someone calls or you go to make dinner or you get into a good book or a good film, that pain goes? It always blags my head when that happens because that kind of confirms what a lot of people are saying about pain in the body. that a lot of the time it can be, I'm not saying that people can get, stuff people getting triggered. I'm getting beyond that now. That a lot of the time it can be here. And a lot of our stuff can be here. That when we think about it, it makes it worse. So what I'm also feeling with this Mercury retrograde is there's these new beings, us, the inner beings that want to come on grid, possibly new fragments of soul that is saying we're not going to be doing that anymore, where we're going to worst case scenario it. What if I get a cold over Christmas? What if I do this? What if I do that? What if this happens? What if World War III is announced? What if, what if, what if? These new fragments of soul that wants to come in, this new energy that wants to come into the earth is so much better than that. It's almost like it's exhausting to think about that. It's exhausting to think about that, which is why some of you may be exhausted because you're thinking about either stuff on the global stage or personal stuff. What if something happens in December? What if somebody kicks off? What if the boss gets pissed at Christmas do again and says something? What if I get a shit end of the stick in the rota and I'm working all Christmas? It's about thinking beyond that. Yeah, Queen of Swords. Being our often we talk about the Queen of Swords as she can come in for divorces and stuff like that. And she's all about cutting cords and boom for your truth. And we always think about cutting cords to other people. But what if the cords we need to cut are the cords to our own bullshit? Eight of Swords, our own weakness and vulnerability. I'm not saying you can't be vulnerable. But what I'm saying is, it's not the poor me vulnerable. It's not the Five of Pentacles vulnerability. And many of us are stepping into this Queen of Swords energy, where these old mindsets of things people have said to us, things people have done to us, it's been released. I've been saying for a while in my readings that in video readings and client sessions that there has been a huge opportunity these past few months to clear karma. The only thing that we need to do now is we need to catch up with it and stop on that karmic wheel. It's like, oh, wait a minute, I don't need to repeat these behaviors anymore because they're from the old parts of me. Another thing that's coming up is things and people from the past that maybe made you angry, upset, anxious, coming up again. But when they come up, their memories either via dreams or news about them, it's like a wave of love comes up, and you're like, what's going on? It's not like sexual love or anything like that, or relationship love. It's more of a spiritual love. It's a higher vibrational love. It's a love for fellow man, that type of thing. But it can knock you for six when it happens because it's like, wait a minute, that person did the most treacherous thing to me, but that person was a part of your story, an important part of your story. The creation, the Three of Pentacles. So it feels also as well that Mercury retrograde is going to be a time for collaboration. I know for my work, I am starting to think about working alongside other people for video content, not all the time, but I'm going to start, hopefully, on this channel, starting to do interviews and more collaborative videos and call it like a podcast channel where there's going to be not podcast channel. Oh, I was just going to say it was a playlist. We'll say, God, that'd be four channels. Shit. Um, but a podcast playlist where you'll see me on like a Zoom call, but there'll be no cards. You could just put it on and go do your ironing. You can put it on and drive. You could put it on and just be cooking and don't need to look at our faces, or my facial expressions that are crazy. I know I'm conscious of it. Um, so it's collaboration with people, but you are going to also get this energy of me. People that you can't reach. We've been talking about this for some time. Aspects of us that are still stuck in this as well. We need to gently bring them out and say, come on, we can't be doing this anymore. You can't be like that. We've got to try and the aspects of us that are still anchored in that. We've got to gently bring them out. There's a thing when we do a soul retrieval in shamanism, and we will get the soul fragment and we will show the soul fragment that whatever has been healed has been healed. So, say there's been an entity on a client, we will show the soul fragment that the entity has gone, that it's safe to go back into body. And then we will put it back into the body after cleansing it. It's the same with this aspect of you that wants to be meh, or that wants to be needy, or that wants to play up, or that wants to isolate yourself, or Somebody comes up to give you a hug and you, yeah, it exists. It really does exist. But this is about gently showing that aspect of us. It's fine. Say, for example, say somebody asked you out on a date, but that fragment of you that got betrayed, let down, money taken from you in a relationship, humiliated in a physical way or whatever, it wants to do that. Nah, I don't want to do it. This is for you to take loving charge of that aspect of you and show it that it's okay to come out and enjoy life. We're not meant to, going forward on this earth plane, we're actually meant to be enjoying life much more than what we have done. Many of us came to the earth plane with a huge bucket of karma, like literally. Think of how women used to go to the shops back in the day with the granny trolleys and everything. We all came into earth with our granny trolleys, loads of them coming down the womb, all these granny trolleys. Um, we've dropped a lot of those bags now. We've cleared it. And as I say that, we get the card of victory. So going into December, going into this Mercury retrograde, knowing what can happen. I deal with people on Zoom, so I've got to allow that people may lose Zoom links and stuff. It does happen. Things can break down, systems can break down, but not getting stressed over it. Um, not going hyper vigilant with everything as well. And knowing as well that people that maybe not on an awakening path may not understand what's going on and may have moments, and just dealing with that in the right way. Um, I like the energy of that. Let's do activations by Lon. Want me to show you the card? Transition. The frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence and our lives, so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. So shedding the skin, going through the next few weeks, months with ease and grace, allowing this process to unfold, witnessing what's going on in the world, not getting stuck in it, not getting drawn into it, seeing it as you would a film. Get your popcorn ready. um, and that is a much better way of doing it than what we have been doing before, much more healthier. Tantric journey. Shall I read all these? The frequency of tantric journey helps us to unlock the hidden knowledge and wisdom that we intrinsically hold about how to reach a state of wholeness and completion through our sensual experiences with ourselves and another. So tapping into new energies, this tantric experience, and your delight. The frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and what is going on here in this paragraph? The frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we evoke in others. So when we're being a Debbie Downer, we make other people feel a Debbie Downer. Crown chakra upgrades as well. The frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into light. Interesting. Let's do a native spirit card for this reading. So Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde, the old way of doing it was, woo, it's all going to happen. This is like, yep, okay, fair enough. Some things may happen, some things may get cancelled, some things may fall through, connection may be broken. I may sign the wrong document. That's fine, I can get through it. But I've also got a flip side of this where I can really concentrate on my evolution of consciousness whilst I'm going through it, knowing full well that this Mercury retrograde wraps up just before the solstice in December, the winter and summer solstice. What date does it finish, this Mercury retrograde? Oh, she's just thought of something. It finishes on the 15th, which is the full moon. Yeah, our group healing is the 17th and 18th of December. So we're going to go through all that Mercury retrograde, and then we're going to go straight into our group healing, and then we're going to go straight into solstice. Let's have it. We were born for these times. The group healing, by the way, is the end of year deep cleanse. If you've not got your name down for it yet, please do. If you'd like more information, the video is below in the pinned comment in the description box. It's only £22. Spirit Keeper of the South. Rebirth. I said to Gary the other day, I think it was yesterday actually, do you know the sky looks spring-like? It really's got a spring-like energy. It's like I could go out there and I could start looking for crocuses. It's a rebirth, even though I know in the northern hemisphere where I am, it's winter, it's cold out there at the minute. But it's a real rebirth. There's a real reset. Ancient forest, ancient wisdom coming on board. People wanting to find out about ancient wisdom. A call back to the natural world, nature spirits, elementals, portals, magic, spirit of air going higher, breath of the body, being able to face our mountains on a personal, collective, and global level. And final card is to be able to do it all and walk in beauty. And that's it. Thank you for watching this video. Please do like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. Bye.